Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris and you're watching VSense. So as you have seen from the title, today we're going to be talking about the Chance collection of fragrances by Chanel. This is the most popular range, at least aside from Coco Mademoiselle, obviously. This range sells like hotcakes. You know, everyone wants some. Everyone that's being introduced into the brand of Chanel typically finds their way through the Chance collection. These are very, very popular, very youthful, and they're very easy to wear as well. So we're going to go through the 4 eau de toilettes that are available in this collection and see which one's the best. So the first one we have here is Chance Eau Fraiche. This is what the bottle looks like. Just so you know, mines are pretty old. In terms of size, this is a 5-ounce bottle that is manufactured by Chanel, so it's the biggest one that they actually do in the eau de toilette sizes. Overall, this is the best bang for your buck when it comes to purchasing this fragrance. So this one itself, it's called Eau Fraiche. The lettering obviously is in pink. And as the name says, it is considered to be the fresh version of Chance. I'm not quite sure what that means essentially, because the entire collection of Chance is considered to be a fresh line. It is a very clean, citric / powdery type of collection. So this one being fresh, it doesn't really captivate anything different than what the collection already is. But in essence, the fragrance itself is considered, to my opinion, to be more green. So more citric, fresh green notes are added into the Chance fragrance that originally came out. So all started back in 2002 with the original Chance. This is the Eau de Toilette. This fragrance is very nice. It's one of those fragrances that is easy to love. It's also easy to go past and, you know, not really acknowledge very well whenever you have the other siblings in this collection, like Chance Eau Tendré, Chance Eau Vive. And the Chance Eau de Toilette is one of those that typically gets ignored and doesn't get a lot of love, but this is what started the entire collection itself. This fragrance is very similar to Allure, so if you've smelt Allure by Chanel, you do have, you know, quite a similarity to this. It's kind of a hybrid of Allure meets number 19, if that makes any sense, but then makes it more youthful, more vibrant, more sophisticated in a younger way. The perfumer for this entire collection range is Jacques Paul. She did create all of these fragrances. Like I said, this one came out and was launched in 2002. The top notes on this are going to be pink pepper, iris, hyacinth, and pineapple. Your middle notes are going to be listed as citric fruits as well as jasmine. And then in the base, we're going to get musk, vetiver, patchouli, and vanilla. So you don't really get the patchouli in this guy. You do get the vetiver in this fragrance. Lots of pink pepper, lots of musk in this, lots of citric notes. The citric notes on the entire Chance collection is going to be more of a sharp citric, so it's not going to be like a Mandarina d'Amalfi. It's not going to be an Acqua di Parma type of citric note. It's going to be a sharp, kind of a synthetic citric note, but not necessarily synthetic because they're not synthetic notes. What they do is they add aldehydic type of qualities into these fragrances, which then makes them a little bit more sharp, makes them a little bit more potent and more, you know, like champagne. So it makes the fragrance smell kind of like a champagne or rosé. The original Chance Eau de Toilette, I would say, is certainly for a younger generation. I would say it's someone that's between their 20s and their 30s. You know, they like the Chance collection, they like the modern world, they are a young professional, but they want something a little bit more sophisticated and not as playful. I think that the Chance Eau de Toilette, the original one, is a little bit more different to the rest of the siblings in this collection. And that's because it is more sophisticated, it is more refined, more elegant, but in a very understated format. So definitely I would say that this is a really great fragrance. It is overseen, and it is one of those fragrances that I would certainly recommend for you to spray on and then wear as it dries down, because whenever you first spray it on, it's going to give you that Allure type smell. If you don't like Allure, then you're going to not like this fragrance, but definitely give it a shot, try it on, and I guarantee that you'll love this fragrance. Back to Chance Eau Fraiche. This fragrance is also an eau de toilette. All of these in this video are eau de toilettes. They do make eau de parfum versions in some of these. So for example, in the eau de toilette version, the original one does come in an eau de parfum. Eau Tendré has been launched as an eau de parfum, and that's due to the popularity of that one itself. This one is the one that I would certainly say is considered to me to be more unisex than any of them. These are all marketed to a female audience. Chance Eau Fraiche is the only fragrance that has the quality to be worn by men and women because it does have that green, fresh, citric appeal to it. It's kind of like the Chance Eau de Toilette, but it's a little bit cleaner. It's a little bit more refined, more soapy overall, and a lot more of a sharp tone to this fragrance. The top notes for this are going to be cedar as well as citric notes. Your middle notes are going to be jasmine and pink pepper as well as water hyacinth. And in the base, we're going to get iris, musk, vetiver, amber, as well as patchouli and teakwood. So you definitely see that there's a little bit more of a green element in this fragrance, but there's also woody elements into it. Do not think that this is going to be a woody, deep fragrance. By any means, it's not. The cedar and the teakwood in this fragrance are definitely in this fragrance to amplify those sharp citric notes, also to give them a nice contrast so they're not overly sharp to the point where it smells like an alcoholic perfume or it smells like you're wearing a bottle of champagne on your skin. So certainly a really great fragrance. Like I said, if you do like this range and you are a gentleman or you're looking for a fragrance that's going to appeal more to a masculine market, then I would certainly say that the Chance Eau Fraiche fragrance is the one to get. The next one that we have here is Chance Eau Vive. This fragrance is the newest one in this category. The other fragrances were created by Jacques Polge. This is the only one that was actually created by Olivier Polge, and it's actually the first fragrance that he worked on for the House of Chanel. So certainly a very exciting fragrance for the House of Chanel because they introduced a new perfumer slowly to the brand. People started to work with what he was creating and really appreciate his work. So this fragrance itself is very much similar to the Chance Eau Tendré line. Big difference in this one is that you're going to add the blood orange in this fragrance. So you're going to get a lot more of those citric notes, but the citric notes on here are sharp, but they add a little bit of a tart citric aspect to it. So it's fresh, it is juicy, it is plump, it is ripe. That's what this fragrance gives you, while giving you the original things that you would get out of the Chance Eau de Toilette and Chance Eau Tendré. So it's kind of like a hybrid between those two, but then it adds its tropical, fruity type aspect to it, which really makes this fragrance very unique, very different. Fun fact about this fragrance is that I actually worked for the brand when we first launched this fragrance, and one of the big things that people used to do is actually grab Bleu de Chanel Eau de Toilette, and they used to spray Bleu de Chanel and then this one over the top and layer them. They gave the most beautiful fragrance that you could actually get out of anything, but that's pretty pricey. You know, you're spending the money on a full-size bottle of Bleu de Chanel and a full-size bottle of Chance Eau Vive. That can be very, very pricey, but you did get a really nice layering experience, and I would certainly say for you to go out there and try it because I think you might like it. Last but not least, we have Chance Eau Tendré. This is the star of the show. This fragrance has stolen multiple people's heart. Multiple people love this fragrance, and a lot of people would say that this is the only one that they'll wear from this collection because it is a top seller. It is very unique. There have been multiple fragrances out there that have tried to mimic this fragrance or recreate it. None of them have quite gotten it because it's such a unique fragrance. So although there's a lot of citric, clean fragrances out there on the market that have all of the notes that this has in it, this fragrance itself is very hard because it's a mixture of floral with woody aspects in it, with lots of powdery notes to it, as well as sharp citric notes, and it's just a masterpiece overall. You get quince as well as grapefruit, hyacinth in this fragrance, jasmine, iris, musk, and amber in this, as well as cedarwood. I'm sure there's a little bit of aldehydic notes in this fragrance as well as maybe peony, because it does have a very similar aspect to Miss Dior Blooming Bouquet. They're not one and the same, they're nowhere near each other, but they do have that characteristic where that peony is a very fresh, very clean, but then it adds those sharp citric notes with that background of a musk, of a fragrance, and it really makes a nice, clean, fresh scent that will definitely liven your day up for sure. So I would certainly say to check this fragrance out. It is a very nice one. I mean, who hasn't heard of this? And you probably already have this in your collection. So I'd certainly say that if you like Chance Eau Tendré, you'll like Chance Eau Fraiche, and you might like Chance Eau Vive. You might have a hard time with the Chance Eau de Toilette. So definitely check these guys out. Just so you do know, this one does come in Eau de Parfum. as well as the original Chance. Both of these are Eau de Parfums. Obviously, this one, due to the popularity, does have the Eau de Parfum flanker. It's a little different, not super different, but it does have a tiny bit of a difference in the actual smell, in the actual note composition. So definitely check all of these fragrances out. I'll leave a link down below to Chanel's website so you guys can check them out. Make sure to subscribe, comment down below what your thoughts on the fragrance collection is and which one is your favorite. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.